And welcome back to another tutorial in the 24-hour, 24-day image creation marathon brought to you by Instagraphics, my company, where I teach you to create standout images quickly and easily on your iPhone, iPad, or computer. I'm your host, Grace Taylor Siegel, and I want to thank you, as always, for being here. There are a lot of places where you could be, and I'm just honored that you're here with me. So thanks for taking the time, and I'm going to do my best to make this a valuable lesson for you. So let's get designing. I want to show you the image that I started with. And it is this image of my husband. His name's Aaron. And this is him at Zion National Park. And this is hiking in the Narrows, where you have to do it obviously through water. It looks really like torture to me, and he did it in the summer, so it's like hot there. But put that to the side. It's a pretty neat picture, and I thought this would be a great one to include in the marathon. So let's get this. And the app that I used, I think I forgot to mention it, it's called Vintage Camera. And the whole premise of the thing is that it puts vintage filters on. Now, as we've discussed to a certain degree, there are a lot of different apps. They do a lot of different things, and there's a lot of overlap. In some cases, I like a full-featured app. In other cases, I sort of like the one-trick ponies because I know exactly what they're going to do. I'm going to call them up, and I'm going to use them for this one thing that they do. This is one of those apps. You'll see it does not have a lot of features, but the icon alone made me want it. Look how adorable that is. So unlike other apps that has the option of going into the camera or the camera roll right in the same area, this one isn't like that. That roll that you see, it's like a piece of film on the bottom on the left there. That just takes you to the photos that you've taken with this app, and we're not going to go there yet. We want to get that photo into this. Now you can take a picture with this app, well, as most apps are like that now, but I want to pull a photo in, and that's when you go to not the center place where the camera is in the center on the bottom, where that red camera is. That's when you want to take a picture. But we want to go to where my photo library is, and that's this other button on the lower right-hand corner, and we're going to touch that little piece of film. So let's touch that, and we'll go into favorites. All we're looking for is that original shot. And as often, we've seen this pretty often, it wants to crop it. And we're going to choose this. And you see on the bottom, there are filters. And they're all vintage filters, at least according to the makers of this app. You can get a little framing going on. If you go to the beginning, yeah, it looks like there's frames on every single option. And there aren't that many options. It looks like there's 2, 4, 6, 8, about a dozen. But that's okay because, as I said, this thing does one thing. It does it well. I know if you like this sort of look, and just the design of the app is pretty attractive. But I chose this look because it reminds me of the photos that I took when I was a kid. You know, it's not the sharpest resolution, but it has sort of a charming look to it. Now, the only tool that you have beside these filters is this rotation. See the arrow at the bottom right of the photo? If you press that, as I am, it rotates your photo. That's it. Watch. See, the only other place to go here, there's the filters, there's canceling, which takes you back to the beginning, or on the upper right hand side there, you can save it. And I'm going to press that, and I'm going to save it. and you're going to see what happens. Look, it just gives you a few options, not as many as usual. Now, one thing I can tell you, because I've used it a few times, is it automatically saves, so you don't have to worry. This is now saved to your camera roll. But if you want to put it on Facebook, Twitter, or send it through email, you press those buttons, and that's pretty self-explanatory right there, from left to right. And then there's a delete button, so you can just get rid of it right there. And let's see. It looks like some sort of that, the option there on the upper left hand, I've never used it. It's a way to write a note on there. So I think if you put something on Facebook or Twitter or email, that's a way to, put a little caption information. I don't want any caption information, so I'm going to press the button on the upper right hand corner that says done. And I'm back to the beginning. Now, it couldn't be much simpler than that. The only other thing that you do have a control in here that they mention in the description, so it seems like perhaps it's not the norm, is if you do go into the camera, which is that center red button, you can turn your flash on there. So you've got a flash control in there. And of course, this button right here on the right, it turns the camera forward or backward toward you if you want to take a selfie. And that's about it. I'll show you this other spot where you can go and look at the photos that you've taken. It's down there, that button on the left, the little piece of film, and I'm going to touch that. And see, I've made this image a few times, practicing, so I could do a good job on this video. And that's all you've got. It really is just the cutest, cleverest design ever. It doesn't do a whole lot, but guess what? It's free. So the price is right. There is an in-app upgrade of 99 cents. This app has some ads on it, and you get 3 or 4 additional filters if you buy it for 99 cents, but it's pretty full featured for free. So that is another great selling point, and another reason why I wanted to include it, because you may have noticed most of the apps that I've shown you are not free. I think there's 1 or 2 others that we've come across so far, and there may be a few others that are free. And I just find that you get what you pay for to a certain extent, and the apps are so inexpensive at $1.99, $2.99, and if you use them a lot, it's just so worthwhile. But this is definitely something to think about, and I did not say all of my stuff that I would say. I got kind of excited. I'm just going to remind you as a note to remember that because of the way that I was recording these videos, you can't see my fingers on the screen. You can only see the actions that occur as a result of my touching the screen with my fingers. So I may be adding some call outs to the final video, the one that you're watching now. It sort of depends if I think that it's needed. But just please keep in mind, everything that you see happening is my fingers touching the screen at the different points that I'm describing, and that's the way it will work for you. You'll be touching the screen in the app just as I have to make these things happen. So now you've seen vintage, and I think you know how it works. And if you think it's worth investing in, which it would just be your time that you'd have to invest because it's free, go ahead and give it a shot and create some amazing images and share with me. Just tag me on Instagram or post it to my Facebook page or my Facebook group. And there's the way that you find out how to connect with me in those spots is on my website. If you go to instagraphics.biz/marathon, all of the information about the marathon, including my Facebook group, the free PDFs for all of the apps that give additional information and the links to all the videos, they're right there on my website. And that's instagraphics.biz/marathon. And you could also sign up for my email list there. I'll send you a PDF list of my top 6 apps, as well as links to everything that I've mentioned in an email. And please, if you have a moment, just like these videos here on YouTube. It would really encourage me a lot. All right. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to be holding a contest, and the prize is every app in the marathon. That's 24 apps. And as I mentioned, there's probably about 4 free ones, but still it represents, a little chunk of money. And I would love, I'm just so excited about giving someone, all of these apps to play with after they've watched these videos and taken these lessons. I'll be announcing the details of that very soon, of the contest. So sign up somewhere. I don't want you to miss out on that. Thanks again for being here. This has been fun as usual. I do so appreciate your taking the time. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow for image number 12. And that's going to be pic collage. So tomorrow we'll be halfway through the marathon. Woohoo! So long for now. Make it a great day.